it's Miss Crystal with the St. Cloud branch of the Osceola Library System. I'm here today to have some cool water fun with you guys. Are you ready? Yeah? All right. So this is mainly for you to help mom or dad, grandma or grandpa or somebody to make some fun things for you to do. Instead of a water balloon fight, we're going to have a water sponge fight. How's that? And these are reusable because once you throw a water balloon, they're completely done. But these you can keep dipping into the water bucket and they're loads of fun over and over again. And you can make them different colors or you can make them team colors so that once you throw, you're throwing green against brown, green against teal, or green against pink, and you could have teams of fun. Are you ready to start with me? Yes, let's get started. All right, these are super simple to make and they're not that expensive. Actually, they're kind of cheaper than balloons themselves because you don't have to worry about buying the balloons, then picking up the balloons and then throw them away. So you're actually being very conscious about our earth, about Earth Day, about earth smartness, and about recycling too. Because one thing about the sponges is they can be used over and over again, where a balloon, once it's busted, it's done. And the worst thing is what if you missed and it's still busted? So we're going to have lots of fun with this today. All right. So what you need is you need to pick up a packet of sponges. This package here I just picked up at our local grocery store. You could probably find them at any of the dollar stores, any of those local places. They're not that expensive and they're pretty easy to cut as well. These are the 4 colors that I have here, almost like a deck of cards here. So there's my 4 colors, but I'm sure they come in many other different colors. That's what they look like once you take them out of the package. And this is kind of like what they look like if you cut them long ways. Now, when you cut them long ways, it kind of looks like this. And I put 2 pieces of each one of these colors in it. But what I'm going to show you today is, even though these are cut long, I'm going to show you the shorter version. Because I kind of like the shorter version because it's easier for smaller kids to play with it, but it's nice hand grippable for us adults to throw them too. So we can even have a little bit of fun with filling these up with a little bit of water and tossing them at somebody. All right. So the first thing we're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut some string. Doesn't matter how long. I would do maybe about at least 10 inches long so that you can wrap it around it. Or if you have zip ties, probably the smaller ones the better. If they're like at least 6 inches, you can use zip ties because that's what I did with some of these smaller ones here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap string around them or some of my yarn just in case, so that the little fingers and hands don't accidentally get caught on the sharp edge of where my zip tie is. But I like them because they're a little bit stronger, and after a while, yarn, once it gets wet over and over again, it kind of starts to disintegrate, but my zip tie won't. Okay, so if you don't have zip ties, again, you can still use any kind of string you get home, anything left over. You can even take some old shoestrings if you want to help with that. So I'm going to take my sponge, and to make it really easy for you, I want you to help me. We're going to cut it in half. And again, this is for adults to do, but for the kids to have fun with. So I just now cut it in half. It doesn't have to be perfectly in half, but you're going to cut it in half. What you're going to do now is you're going to cut that half again in half. So now that one. And you're going to take that one, the smaller piece, and you're going to cut it in half. Learning about halves right there. So guess what? You're going to take one of those and you're going to cut it in half. Now, when you look at it, you want to look and see which one's a little bit thicker. And that's what I did, is I went to the thicker side and I want to cut it in half. A lot of times they tell you to stop right there, but this one here, I cut them all down to halves, and it's a little bit fuller and not as stiff too. So I like the extra little fingers that are on it. So I'm going to keep cutting here. Cut this one in half. We got to cut this one in half too. And it'll be so worth it once you get all of these snipped up, wrapped around a string, and you send the kids outside, because that's the one thing about water balloon fights. They're a lot of fun, but then you got to clean up the mess of all the water balloons around. And once a water balloon busts, it's not like they're all going to be in one spot. They end up going all over the place. But not with these sponges. So look how cool and big that is. Okay. So let me grab one of my strings here. And you're going to gather these up and just kind of put them in the middle of your string. You can do it as a pile or a nice little stack. Some of them I stacked up in a nice little square and squeezed with that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull my string up. I'm going to take it, and what you're going to do is you're going to tie this in a tight knot. Now if you have little fingers to help, you can do that. But I can do this by myself because I'm going to stick my little finger right there on top of that knot and bring my string back around. I'm going to hold it some more and tie. There we go. We're going to tie it in a tight knot. Yep. And it's not going to be just one knot because I'm going to bring it back around and I'm going to do it on the back side too. Again, like I said, I like it really tight because yarn tends to, after a while it gets wet and it dries, it'll start wearing out. So on most of my other ones, I'll probably go back through and do this with zip ties so that they'll stay a little bit longer, a little bit better. And then I'll cover it with yarn so none of those sharp edges are around. But this works really well, and it'll last you at least the summer so that you can have a good time with it. Oh, here's the last one. And then I'm going to I'll take and cut the extra string off so that you can see what it looks like. And you won't be able to see the string at all once I trim it off either. So we're going to cut this extra string off. Put it over there. Oh, little piece there left over. We'll do that. Okay. And I'm going to fluff him out a little bit, and looky there. Look how nice and poofy he is. Now this one compared to this one, they're the same short strips, but there's more puffiness here to it. So I think this was going to, even though this is going to hold more water, I think it'll release more water once it hits somebody. But you can do the smaller strips, which you would end up cutting this not just once, twice. You would cut this 4 times, and that's what you would get with these. This one here, I end up cutting twice more, so that's how they're nice little small ones with that. These right here, we cut it lengthwise. And that's how we came up with this one. And it's okay. I just kind of like the smaller one better. But it's your choice. Sometimes you want the bigger fullness to hold on to and just throw it and fling it at somebody. Or you can just use a whole sponge because sometimes kids like that. But I think they're going to like the ball. Once you're done playing with these, you can always take them out, squeeze the water out, and just set them somewhere. They'll dry out and they'll be ready for next time for loads of fun in the water, in the sun, and just with the kids. All right, so I hope you guys had fun today. I think it's going to be a load of fun to work with these, and I hope I see you next time here with Miss Crystal at the St. Cloud branch of the Osceola Library System. You guys have a great day, and thank you.